Hey guys, it is Saturday morning, August 5th. I haven't recorded in a while, so I thought I'd give you an update on where I am on Mystery 9. I've been working on this exclusively since I picked it back up, and I'm really enjoying it. The last couple of weeks have been pretty hard. But being able to sit down and just have, this little pool be kind of my whole world has been helping. So, I finished this little pool, and you can see that it's got metallic that goes, this is petite treasure braid that goes around here, as well as there are some stitches in here that are all petite treasure braid, including this little center of the fleur-de-lis. And then I've got my beads done, and it is just so sparkly. And photos of it just really don't capture how pretty that is. So I really enjoyed stitching on that after I, kind of got over the mistakes that I was making. And I did go in and finish all of these eyelets here. I did these eyelets up here and got all of that done. And then I have started on this center pool up at the top, and I've been working on that. So that's coming along. I had hoped to get further on that last night, but it just didn't happen. So my plan is I'm going to finish this center pool, and then down here over on this side, there's a center pool, on the right hand side. So I've sort of started this one just because I had, thread still left on my needle. I think I may hold off on finishing this one until I get the top kind of done. And then I'll, move my fabric and be able to work on this center pool as well as the one that's going to go over here. So after I finish this pool, then I'm going to come over to this corner and start working on it. And obviously I need to bead this part and this part. So I'll probably do that first and then maybe break it up a little bit with starting to put in that green hedge that goes up here at the top. And then the corner pool. So that's where I'm at. You can see my beads and the stitches on the artichokes. Somebody commented the other day and said, they commented on how pretty the thistles were. And they do really look like thistles. They're actually supposed to be artichoke flowers, I guess. I've never seen an artichoke flower, but I trust that Martina knows what she's doing. So, and I don't know if I ever showed you guys. So these little beds here, obviously this is Mystery 9, which is the King's Vegetable Garden. And so you can see all of the little vegetables in here, like these are like little radishes, or turnips or beets or whatever. They look like radishes to me. And like each little bed is different. And in between each of these, there's going to be a bugle bead that is the same color of these dark blue ones. So But because bugle beads are cut, they're like long tubes that are cut, um, those edges are really sharp, and I don't want to run the risk of the thread holding it getting cut. So I'm just going to save those till last along with my big crystals. So that's where I'm at. And the fun thing about doing these pools is that I'm actually using threads that have not been used in this piece before. So it's always fun to me to open up, you know, a new skein, a new color. So Eric and I are going car shopping today again. It's like 100 degrees outside, so wish me luck. And I will share more of my center pool progress soon. Hey guys, it's Michelle, and today is Monday, Tuesday, August 8th. It's been a while since I recorded. I actually have done some vlog entries, recordings that I'm currently editing together to see how much I've got. It looks like it's about half-hour worth. If I can, I'm going to tack this onto the end of that. If not, this will just end up being a separate video. But I have been meaning to do like a sit down and look at you video for a while now, and I just haven't. So let me start out with just kind of a little side note on what's going on and in my world. So, and when you see the videos, the clips that come before this, you will probably be able to tell as I go from being, you know, okay to being not okay. Like, it's a very clear progression of events. And so I'm not even sure really what I want to say. I actually did record a vlog segment where I kind of went down this whole rabbit trail, you know, garden path of twisting and turning of what was in my head at the time. I'm going to try not to do that. I'm going to try to stay a little bit more concise, if that's possible for me. So, over the past 2-3 weeks, maybe, I have noticed that my stress level, my anxiety level has been way high, way high. And the result of that is that any small little thing sends me completely over the edge. And by that, I mean, what that has kind of resulted in over the past few weeks is that I'm going to say irrationally, but it was probably sometimes warranted, but irrationally completely lost my temper. Like, I would go from, like, you know, 0 to 120 in about 2.5 seconds. So, needless to say, that has been, it's been really difficult because I'm just kind of feeling completely out of control right now. and also feeling like I'm watching Ramses because he thinks he's going to chew on my cord. Hey. So, yeah, I just feel really, really out of control, not able to handle like anything. And then like once I have one of these big kind of upsets, you know, where I totally lose my temper and it, you know, kind of turns into an episode of Game of Thrones where, you know, like nobody's left standing at the end of it, just with less swords. But then it's like I am so completely exhausted because of the amount of energy that I've just expended. So anyway, there's been a lot of that's been going on the past couple of weeks, past 2-3 weeks, which has made everything really difficult. Like I said, just the smallest, littlest things completely send me over the edge. And so then when something really does go completely awry, yeah. So, what I think is contributing to this is there is a lot of malarkey going on at work. And it's on kind of 3 different fronts. One is I have a manager that is in the process of being replaced, thankfully. But until he is replaced, we're having to deal with him. So that is making things extremely difficult. And I have a very high profile, stress-inducing project that, yeah, on its own is enough, but it's really more of the management kind of situation that's causing some havoc. And then we are actually, as a company, in the midst of a transition. We were just recently acquired. And so as part of that transition, there's a lot of change happening and a lot of things that have to be dealt with and taken care of. And so there's a lot of stuff going on. And personally, I think I may have alluded to in one of my previous videos that I have a car situation that has been going on for some time. Eric and I have been doing car shopping kind of nonstop on the weekends and the evenings. And of course, it's Texas in August, so it's 1,000 degrees outside. And that's stressful, you know, whatever. So there's been a lot of that kind of stuff that's going on. That's just adding kind of fuel to the fire. So that's where I'm at. So, but you can kind of see that descent into madness in my previous videos. That unfortunately, you know, kind of got taken out on my projects that I was working on. So, all of that being said, let me show you what I'm working on and where I'm at. I'm working on Mystery 9. I have been exclusively working on Mystery 9. And I've got my janky scroll rod situation going on here. Um, and obviously you are not going to get very good detail with me holding it up like this, like you do when you see it, from the other side of the camera. But I wanted to show it to you anyway. So I have been working on this corner. And so this is this was a year-long mystery, so it was 12 parts. The part with the swirls here is part 9. And so I've got all of those swirls stitched. I only have this corner beaded. So both of these 2 pieces are beaded. I need to go through and obviously bead the other 3 corners. There are some blank spots in here where some big crystals go. So obviously those aren't in there yet. But after beading these 2 swirlies, I decided I'm gonna get so bogged down if I just focus on beading like the other 3 corners. So I opted to go ahead and start part 10 in this corner. And so part 10, and I'm a little, I'm kind of a TV dinner kind of girl, meaning that I like to eat all of one section before I move to the next section. So this goes a little out of my comfort zone, but in an effort to try to keep the momentum going and make sure that I was, still working on this and loving it, etc. That's what I did. So part 10 includes this green hedge here that has the Algerian eyelets in it, which you saw close-ups of in a previous video. It includes this corner pool, which I have completely finished, and it's got all of the stitching done. It's got the over 1 stitching in the center. All of the metallic is done, and that's all in petite treasure braid. And then all of the beading is done for this pool as well. And then part 10 for this corner also includes 2 center pools. So it's the center, of each side. So all 4 corners, and then the 4 pools on each side. And then those green hedges. So I decided that I would just focus on this one corner since I have my beading done on the swirls. I've got my green hedge in, I've got my corner pool in, I've moved over and stitched this center pool, and that is completely stitched as well. Let's see if I can give you a little closer look at what that looks like. So there is my center pool. It's got all of its beading, and the outline of the metallic is on there as well. So that's completely done. And I made an itty bitty start on this other side pool, but I'm gonna hold off on this, and probably once I finish this top section, then I'll, roll my fabric and then work on those 2 center pools on either side. So last night I started beading this swirly, and so I only got, maybe not even half of that done last night. I didn't stitch a whole lot last night. But so I'm working on beading that. So what's interesting is that as I started to work on that corner pool, I kept making mistakes and having to rip out and have to rip out and restitch and rip out, and it was super frustrating me. And the fact that I have all this weird tension situation going on, and paper towels stuffed in here, and my fabric folded back, and then this weird, contraption I have on the sides, that was bothering me. And then the fact that I have, that my fabric is discolored from where I held it on my Q-snaps, and it's kind of right here. So it may get covered up by stitching, it may not. It's kind of here. You can probably kind of see that. Some of it's shadow from where I had that folded over, but yeah, it's discolored. But like I said, there's really nothing I can do about it at this point. So I'm just gonna hope that either the stitching covers it, or I can frame close enough up to my edge that it's not really noticeable. It is more noticeable in person than here, but you know, what are you gonna do? So, and I don't know if my stitching is gonna come out far enough. There's not much more width-wise to go. But we'll just have to see. So, really the place that I got to with this, after all the frustration and everything, and where it was just making me crazy, is that I want this done. I want this piece to be hanging in my house, and I want to be able to appreciate and enjoy it and look at it every single day. And so in order to make that happen, there's a little bit of sucking it up that I just have to do, where, you know, yeah, I've got this weird contraption situation going on. I had the same kind of weird contraption situation going on with And They Send right at the end there, because I was stitching so much that I was actually having a hard time holding my frame. Because even though, you know, this is a scroll frame, I actually just hold this. I don't put it on a stand or legs or anything. So that of course makes it a little difficult to work on. And I got to that same place with And They Send as well. So I want it done, and you know, the more that I can work on it and just work through my issues, and just kind of persevere, the sooner it'll be finished. And little cameo appearance there. The sooner it'll be finished, and the sooner it'll be off of this scroll frame and done. So it is what it is. I'm just gonna live with it and just keep on going. So once I got to that point, this little pool became my whole world. Like, everything was so crazy. It still is. So crazy and making me so nuts and just out of control and anxious and stressed and all of that, that I became hyper focused on this little pool. And so at the end of every night, you know, at the end of every day when I would sit down at night to stitch on this, my whole world became this little pool. And it, you know, it's a great testament to what stitching can do for you, because this little pool was like the only little bit of calm in my whole life. So yeah. Anyway, so that's what I've been working on. So tonight I'm going to do some more beading on my little swirlies and see if I can make some good progress on that. So, and like I said, that is the only thing that I have been stitching on. I haven't stitched on anything else, which is fine because I'm enjoying it and I'm just going to keep going with it. I think Sunday is the 13th. So I'm going to obviously pull something out for Dark 13 stitching, and I will work on that. What I may do is just go ahead and pull out my Salem Remembered piece because I want to get the next set of names stitched before the 19th, which is another date of significance. So I may just pull that out on the 13th and work on that until I get the next set of names stitched. And I'm also kind of thinking about, so the lunar eclipse was last night. The solar eclipse is coming on the 21st. I'm really kind of feeling like I want to have a new start for the eclipse. And I've been looking around at a couple of designs by the Primitive Hare. I really like her Full Moon series, that Full Moon Club. But that's like 40 bucks. So I looked at a couple other pieces of hers. She's got one called Blue Moon something, and then one that's got like moon phases. And I really like the moon phases one, so I'm kind of leaning towards doing something like that. And even though we're talking a solar eclipse and not a lunar eclipse, that's just what I'm feeling drawn to stitch on. So, and I don't know how much you guys are into, astrology or, that kind of woo-woo stuff, but I think that that's some of what's been going on as well, because right now there is a whole lot of shifting energy going on. Mercury is going into retrograde, and we've got the eclipse coming up, and just all sorts of shenanigans going on. So I think that I've been feeling some of that too. So maybe a solar eclipse start. We'll see. Probably. If I can get a hold of the charts. When I went out to the Primitive Hare's Etsy shop, I saw the Full Moon Club, but I did not see those other two pieces that I'm talking about. So I'm assuming maybe I could email her. But they're not in her shop, so I'm not sure what the situation is there. I was wondering what this noise was behind me. Yeah, it's tough. Okay, and then I wanted to share some gifts that I got. So one of the very sweet ladies that has been participating in the Salem stitch along stitched Rebecca Nurse by the Primitive Hare, and when she finished her piece, she sent me a note and asked me if I would like to have her chart, and which was super sweet. So I of course jumped on it and said, yes, please, I would love to have the chart because I would love to stitch that piece. And so I gave her my address, and a package arrived, and when it arrived I was kind of like, that looks like there's more than a chart in there. So, and sure enough, and so this came from Andy of Nana's Needles, I think. And so she sent me this sweet little card, this beautiful Claude Monet piece, water lilies. And she of course included the Rebecca Nurse chart. And I just love this. I love the colors in it. I love the snow on the ground. The whole thing. It's a beautiful piece, and her finish was really beautiful. So I really appreciate her passing that along to me. And then she thought that I might want to add another piece to my stash another Salem piece. And so she also sent the piece that kind of started it all, which is by Not Forgotten Farm, which is Salem Not Forgotten. And I'm going to take it out of this package so that you can see it a little better. Her photos and her charts are not perfect, not super clear. So, but you can Google that and see what it looks like. So, Sim has been working on this, and she was changing her colors and everything, and I really liked her fabric. I think she was using murky, and then changing her colors to some hand-dyed fibers, which were turning out really pretty. So I love this piece as well, so I'm super happy to have it. And both of those pieces will be really nice stitched and hanging with my Salem Remembered. And then she also sent some tea. This is French Vanilla, Bigelow French Vanilla black tea. And she said in her note that it's a Connecticut product, so she thought she would send her favorite tea for me to try. So I'm super excited. I left it in the little package so I could show it to you guys, but now I'm gonna break it open and have some. So she sent these, which I am thrilled about. So, and then she sent these fantastic Halloween lights that are bats. It's like a garland with bat lights on it for my haunted dollhouse. So I'm super excited. I'm gonna go see if I can kind of rig this up outside and plug it in and see what it looks like, and I will shoot some video or enclose a picture so that you can see it. But I'm super excited about these. So thank you so much. I can't begin to tell you how much that means to me. The whole, just, it was super, super thoughtful, Andy. So thank you again for everything. I really appreciate it. So, so I got this package in the mail, and then I had another package arrive, which actually came on a day that I was having like the worst day. It's bad. And so Emily from Eclectic Possessions, she has been spending some time with her mom and sewing project bags. And so she said that she saw this fabric and knew that it was absolutely perfect for me. And so she made me a project bag and sent it, and I'm absolutely in love with it, and it's already stuffed full. So so this is the bag that she made me, and I absolutely love it. It's got this fantastic Egyptian print. Let me show you the back so you can see that. I mean, it's got these lotus flowers. It's got these beautiful jars, these urns. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. It's got the hieroglyphs, the ibis. I mean, it's just, the whole thing is just absolutely beautiful. And then it's got this great little lace trim here, and this swirly brown fabric at the top. And then on the inside, it has this fantastic, it almost looks like Moroccan tile to me, this beautiful gray patterned fabric. So, I mean, and the quality of the bag itself is just fantastic. I mean, you guys did such an amazing job, and I absolutely, absolutely love this. I mean, you, Emily, when you say that this was the perfect fabric for me, you were not kidding. I mean, this is the absolute perfect fabric for me, because, you know, I love all things Egyptian. So, as you can probably tell, because my cats' names are Tutmos and Ramses. So, and one of these days, maybe I'll tell you guys about my tattoos. So, what's in here? Well, Egyptian bag. Remember when I did my whip parade and I showed you my kit for Egyptian Garden by Chatelaine Designs and said that I wanted that to be my birthday start? Guess what's in here? So I have all my silks and my metallics, and I think this piece actually calls for a bunch of DMC, so I need to really look at my materials list and see if I need to pull some DMC. Yeah, I do, now that I look at that. There's a whole, like, all this is DMC, so I need to get those pulled. So I have my chart already printed out in here, ready to go. And I will insert a photo here. Of what Egypt Garden looks like, so you can see the whole thing and you don't have to Google it, you can be lazy. My beads are in here. And my fabric. So the fabric that I chose for this actually copied somebody else at the time. So I purchased this when it was released, which was who knows when. Probably 2006, 2007-ish is my guess. And so one of the ladies that stitched hers did it on Silk Weaver Days Gone By, which is what I got, because I thought it looked like sand. So I think it's going to be the perfect piece. It's like beautifully modeled. This is back when Silk Weaver was good. Beautifully modeled, and I think it's going to be really pretty. Now, what I have learned, learning from my mistakes, I'm not beading as I go. I will bead at the end. That will give me a little more flexibility, you know, to move around a Q-snap or whatever I want to do and not have a problem later. So it's all in here. I need to pull my DMC. I need to get out my needle minder and my scissors with my scissor fob, my Egyptian stuff to go with this so that I can all set and ready to go on the 22nd. So thank you, Emily. This is the absolute perfect bag at the absolute perfect time. And I'm so excited that I get to put my my Egypt Garden in here, which is, it's one of those pieces. It's like, why have I not started this? It was sitting in my stash for like 10 years. Why have I not started it? It's getting started now. So, I was on such a high from the gifts that then I got to thinking, and I don't know what started me down this path, but I became absolutely obsessed with having a project bag out of the Rifle Paper Company Alice in Wonderland fabric that was put out by Cotton and Steel last year, spring, I don't remember, whenever, fall, I don't know. Absolutely obsessed with having a bag out of that fabric. So of course, you know, I spent like almost a whole night Googling, looking, can I buy the fabric? Can I make something myself? Can I get something pre-made? Blah, blah, blah. And I looked over at So Much to Love, and she does have an Alice bag for sale, or at least it was in her shop when I looked at it. And, oh, they might be smelling Buster on this bag. Anyway, so she did have a bag, and I was like, okay, I'm going to keep that one in mind. And, you know, of course, during all of this, you know, I posted up on Instagram and said, I'm completely obsessed with having a project bag made out of this fabric, you know, as one does. I have a new obsession, let me post it on Instagram. And so Christine from Stitch All the Things commented and said that she had made, you know, one of her project bags made out of that fabric was for sale at Down Sunshine Lane. So off I went to look at Down Sunshine Lane, and there it was, and it was beautiful, and it was exactly what I wanted. And so add to cart. It was mine. So happy birthday to me. And so it came in the mail, and this is the first time I've ever ordered from Down Sunshine Lane, but super quick. I mean, the thing was in the mail like the next freaking day. And I ordered this at like, you know, 11:30 at night or something. So anyway, so it came, and it is beautiful. I'm just in love with this fabric. I mean, it's just totally, this is very typical, you know, Rifle Paper Company, and it just has that look to it. You know, it's got that style to it. It's got a little bit of a metallic gold to it that kind of shimmers. You can kind of see that, like around here. But it's just, and this was the specific print that I wanted. I wanted this print in this color. And the bottom of this is in this awesome glitter, red glitter vinyl. How cool is that? And so because it's got the gusseted bottom, it sits on its own. And it's got a zipper, obviously, at the top. Inside, hello Tula Pink. That's a Tula Pink True Colors print right there. And even better, it has little pockets. Look at that. It's got pockets in it, so you can put your scissors and, you know, scissor gel and, you know, what all stuff that you need to carry around with you. Your cheaters, whatever. And so this is so well made. So well made. And she even has her label in here. I don't know if I'm going to be able to show it to you, but her label, no, I can't really show it to you without turning the whole thing inside out. Stitch All the Things, Christine Slaughter. So happy about this. And I haven't even put anything in it because I don't even know what I'm going to put in it, but I had to have it. Had to have it. I mean, come on. I may need to paint my nails red. Anyway, so I've been totally having a crisis, mentally and emotionally, but good things have been coming in the mail. So, anyway, okay. The only other thing that I thought I might quickly kind of touch on is I'm starting to think about Dark October. And the awesome part about Dark October this year is that the 13th of October is a Friday. So it's like a triple whammy. Friday the 13th, Dark 13 stitching, Dark October stitching. So here, this is ample warning. You need to step up your game. So start thinking about it now. 13, 13, 13. Triple dark. So I'm starting to concoct things in my brain. Plans are being made, spreadsheets are being filled in. Yeah. So anyway, it's food for thought. That's all for me. Like I said, this may be a separate video. It may be tacked on to the end of the other videos. We'll see what I have room for when it all gets put together. There's a hookah on here. There's a hookah on here. That's awesome. The caterpillar's hookah. So, one of these days I may have to show you my hookah. We're just gonna leave that alone. Okay. So that's it for me. I'm gonna do some beading on the swirls, and I will report back on how that goes, and the car shopping shenanigans, and the work malarkey, and yeah. What's interesting, side note, they have me interviewing the person that's going to replace my current manager. And no, I don't want the position. I have enough problems. Anyway, I just found that curious. So that's just an aside. So that's it for me. I hope that you are enjoying your stitching. I hope that you are not a crazy person like I am. Go and watch Persnickety Stitcher. Go and watch It Is Kismet Stitches. Go and watch Felicity Stitches. Go do that. And I will find something to put in my Alice bag. I'm going to pull the DMC for my Egypt garden. It may need fresh DMC. What do you think? Fresh DMC? I think so. And then I may have a solar eclipse start. We'll see. All right. Bye, guys.